So for those of you who maybe, I mean, most of us have got smartphones these days, and most of those smartphones have got video capabilities, etc. I don't remember the last time I saw one that didn't. But we're all not trying to obviously make Oscar-winning movies, etc., etc. We just want to show people, I don't know, what we had for breakfast, some of us, or our dog Caesar larking around on the beach or something. And you've said this before, you don't need to have a whole arsenal of hugely expensive equipment just to do that, just to deliver a video. So where do we start? Tip number 1, go.
The first point of call is, that maybe, like you're saying, that videos, I want to show my family overseas or whatever, what we've been up to. Maybe it's something more moving and shocking. Maybe it's capturing a live event as it's happening. So there's quite a few dynamics around taking video. But if you filming video intentionally, I always say, well, you need to know what you want to actually capture. Otherwise, you just point in your phone randomly, and then people see this clip online or via WhatsApp and they go, what on earth am I looking at?
Yeah.
So it's always good to know what exactly that you want to achieve with that video. What is the outcome that you want?
Okay.
So that's the good start. And then making sure that your battery's charged and no comment. And so making sure your battery's charged, make sure you give that lens on your phone a bit of a wipe.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you got the logistics side of it down.
Do you need to think, what else would you need to think about? I mean, here, and you very kindly bought in a prop today, an actual prop, a prop that is a prop.
Yeah.
Which means that we can do this whole, instead of me having to awkwardly hold the phone or prop it up against something in studio, you've bought me something with legs, a mini tripod. Is that what one might call it?
Yeah, a mini tripod or a pocket tripod. It's got a mobile clip on it, which, is great for stabilizing the video, because when you're holding it, practical tip is to lock those arms in. And, try
lock and load.
Yeah, try and stabilize it a bit, because shaky video makes people motion sick, and then they're...
Yeah, we all remember the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, exactly.
Note to self. Okay, tip number 1, research before you record. Know what you want to do, know what story that you want to tell, and make sure that from a practical point of view, you've got all the kit ready, the screen's clean, etc. Tip number 2, you say, is find a quiet place to film. What about natural sound? Isn't that important?
It is. Maybe you want to showcase your morning yoga in the forest or something, or running on the beach with your dog, like Caesar, or however you want to do it. But just be aware of the sound that's around you, because if you near high traffic sound or things like that, that's going to override the volume of your voice. If you're trying to speak, it's going to be very difficult for your audience to hear your message, and that's majority of the time is people are trying to share their message. So if you're going for cinematic stuff, which is just pretty nice, pretty visuals around it, then it's okay. Maybe add a bit of music to it, which you'll do later when we explain about editing. Okay. But for the most part, if you're going to be talking, try and make sure that it's good space to be talking in.
What about and this is always my pet hate when I'm watching somebody's video online and they think they're telling us this wonderful story and all you can hear is not somebody blowing on the mic,
wind
of course,
noise.
but wind noise, yeah.
Yeah, so there's like some little hacks that you can do. So you can take, if you've got the luxury of a spare phone case.
Okay, yeah.
You can take, those scouring sponges.
Yeah.
That yellow part of the sponge. And you can literally cut that and glue a piece of it just over the mic section on the cell phone case. And that will block out the wind noise, just like a... what they call them, dead cats and things like that, which block our windows. So it's a little DIY hack.
Say that again.
So you take your cell phone case, your spare one that you got, and you take a piece of sponge from one of those scouring pads. So don't use the scouring pad part, use the yellow sponge part. And you just cut a small piece off that's going to cover the mic section there. And then that will block a lot of the wind.
You're essentially creating... this that I'm this she says. Now if you're when you say this on radio, it's useless because people don't know what you're talking about.
It's like a pop filter.
But it's a pop shield we would call it, or whatever. But this, if you're looking on this is good. If you're looking on the Facebook, this is what you're essentially creating this, because this actually I won't pull it off because Mally will tell me off, but this thing here comes off. I'm talking about a pop shield. Imagine that thing that looks like a sponge on top of a mic. You've all seen them before. And if you're thinking, what's she talking about? We can't see you. You can just go to Facebook, go to my Facebook page, where we are doing another Facebook Live tutorial thingy with I was going to call you Dr. Joshua Rueda.
Well, self-appointment. Okay, I'll take it.
With Professor Rueda. Okay, so we've got number 1, which is research what you want to do. Yeah. Research before record. Number 2, find a quiet place to film. Nat sound is okay, but if it's overriding your narrative, then not good. Oh, I like this tip here. Make sure that you've put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
beep, beep, beep. You're in the middle of getting to that really important
just
point.
As the baby's coming out.
Yeah, and then your phone rings or your WhatsApp, whatever starts going.
Tinder starts beeping at you.
Exactly. Yeah. Speaking from experience. And then, so that sometimes cancels out the sound in the video, plus it's a distraction. And then when you look at it later, people are going to be like,
what on earth is happening?
Why is there message noise coming through my video?
What about lighting? That's something
Very
that
important.
I struggle with.
Yeah, so natural light is always the best light. So I was saying before, when we were just talking about some tips when we were talking about live videos and things like that, was to put yourself in front of a window. So you face the window and the camera faces away from the window. And that's the best form of lighting. It's always going to be natural lighting. But for a lot of people, if this is their side gig or something that they're trying to build on the side, they might only be able to record in the evenings. And as we know, evenings tend to have low light, and maybe where you're shooting in your house might not have good overhead lighting. So just take a side lamp and take the lampshade part off and use that to be closer to light up your face. Try get it at the same height as your head so that it doesn't look like the light's coming out from a scary movie.
Now, that is not a good look.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been there. That is, if you've got any kind of excess chin, if you've got more than one chin, under lighting is not
a good idea.
Not okay. It is not okay. Okay, so that was tip number 3. Find good lighting. Use natural light. You don't have to have an entire background of team of people holding up white screens.
You can use a torch, an LED torch. 40 Rand LED torch, yeah. And you just put a piece of tissue paper over the front to try and diffuse that light a bit, and prop it up somewhere next to the side of your phone, and that can illuminate your face.
Don has messaged in and says, video don'ts. Don't try recording Christmas lunch. All you'll hear is the clanking of cutlery on crockery and no conversation.
Or a lot of chewing.
Yeah, exactly. Or drunken Auntie Margaret saying something inappropriate. I want to see that video, Don. If that video exists, I want you to send it in, please. Okay, tip number 4, stabilize your video, which is what we've done here, which is good. Your fail safe is clamping the arms at the sides.
Yeah, so if you filming or getting someone to film you, tuck your arms in there and, try and stabilize it as much as possible. Try and not move around too much if you don't have to. A lot of the newer phones do have some form of stabilization.
Do they?
Yeah. So, like the LG V30, but it is a flagship phone.
Right.
That's got optical stabilization in. So that's quite cool. It's very fancy. But for those phones that don't have that, if you doing a more static video, maybe doing a makeup tutorial or something like that, is prop your phone up. You can make a homemade tripod with like a peg and elastic bands and a broomstick if you have to. So get creative. I remember many, many moons ago, I used to use my kids' Lego to prop my phone up. It works great. So, there's plenty of excuses we can make not to do it. I think you just need to think outside the box.
And if people want to maybe invest in something like we've got here, like we've got all sorts of things. We've got a spidery looking device here. We've got something that looks, what is this thing?
Okay, this one's super fancy for the audience on Facebook Live and those that can go watch it after as well. So this is a 3-axis gimbal, and it lets me move around.
That's like a thing that they have in the movies.
Exactly. And the cool thing about this is a slightly older one, but the newer yeah, you can play around. And
how much would one of those cost,
okay,
Joshua?
so the latest one, which they've just released, is 2,399 Rand.
Okay.
But again, if you get one of these and you want to make your movies and all that type of stuff and get all fancy, this is a great step up.
Good.
So yeah, something like that and a smartphone can conquer the world.
And then from that, we go to the thing that my phone is currently on, which is just a really small little tripod-y thing with bendy legs. Where might one pick these gadgets up from?
So there's a variety of gadget stores around the Western Cape, also in China. As we know, we love China, South Africans.
We do now.
Yes, 14 billion or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can bring them in from China as well, but it's just a mobile clip. It's got a standard tripod screw mount. And you can get normally like a combo deal with a tripod and a clip for about 150 Rand, depending on where you go. Yeah.
Here's the reason that I wanted to have this conversation and really take it back to basics is because there'll be, like, my mom is, in fact, she's watching now. Hello,
Hi,
Mother.
Mom.
Hello, Mum. I want her to be able to. My mom has the most fascinating life of I'm not going to give the exact age of an over 70 that one might imagine. She's wonderful and adorable. She's probably the most eccentric person I know. If my mom was to make YouTube videos, they would be an instant hit. My mom, so she travels a lot. She's always out in the garden. The stuff that she could do gardening tutorials. Mm-hmm. There's nothing she doesn't know about gardening. She makes doll's house furniture. All these things that would be visually would be fantastic, and I'd love for her to be able to, and she's always looking for new stuff to do. I'd love for her to be able to start doing a little video. She feeds hedgehogs outside her back door using night vision camera.
She's tech now.
Yeah, no, but when I got that email with the video that my mum had, this is true, Jeremy's like, this didn't happen. It did, and I'm going to send you the video. My 70-something-year-old mum got hold of some, I want to say night vision goggles, which makes her sound like a serial killer, but not that, and filmed the whatchamacallit, the hedgehogs eating outside her back door. Now I want her to send it to me, and then I will send it to the world.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
People love things like that.
That's what I'm saying. So I want people who perhaps they are, towards my mother's age, who aren't just going, but it's, the grandkids have got all these flashy devices. No, you can do it.
I think the plus 60 market is probably some of the best knowledge transfer market out there. So how-tos and advice and all those type of things, super, super niche opportunity to become like.
Suddenly seeing my mum becoming like a YouTube. My mum can grout a bathroom like you wouldn't believe. I promise you.
We should, we can't give out the number, but I mean, like,
yeah.
when we redo our bathroom.
+44 134. Exactly. But I think you're right. There's like this whole untapped resource.
Yeah.
A lot of people who perhaps are retired and they want to pick up a new skill, or not even a skill, but just a hobby, something to do. So hopefully we are talking to you. Oh, look, Dimitri Erasmus is watching. Oh my goodness me. I'm suddenly overcome. Dimitri Erasmus, the one and only. Hello, Dimitri Erasmus. Okay, so our top tips so far. Number 1, research what you want to film. Number 2, find a quiet place to film. Number 3, find good lighting. Number 4, stabilize your video. Number 5, hit record, take a breath, and talk to the camera.
Yeah, so very importantly, you need to look at the camera, because especially if you're using selfie mode, everyone looks at the screen, and then it looks like the person's not looking at you. So
like they've got a squiffy eye.
Yeah, or that one eye's going the one way and the other one's going the other. So it's very important to look directly into the camera, because then you're engaging with the audience on the other side.
Okay.
And then take that deep breath and then start talking. So give yourself a little bit of gap and then start talking. So it's just one of those things that are often overlooked. People end up, everyone loves to see themselves on that screen for some reason. So
I don't know if it's that. Well, for me, it's not that I love to see myself. It's that I want to make sure that others who might be seeing me are seeing something presentable. Hence the face today.
Always presentable. Always.
Lies. Tip number 6: time to edit. Oh, this is where I start freaking out.
So I think it's actually a lot easier than we make it out to be.
Okay.
And a lot of that comes down to that research before you record process, which we're talking about. So if you know exactly what it is you want to record, then it's really comes down to just putting that sequence together.
Okay.
And the way I term it is like you just want to get from point A to point B. And if it was on this side of A was on this side of the pond and B was on that side of the pond, your clips are the little stepping stones to get you across the lake. So if you know what you're recording and you do that process well, then you just have to slot them together in this chronological order, and it makes it really, really easy. If you want to start getting fancier, you have to start to do it more and more and learn the software. But like straight off on an iPhone, you've got iMovie. I mentioned before you can download the GoPro Quick app, which is very, very helpful. Might be a little bit overwhelming at first, but follow the on-screen prompts, learn the stuff inside out. And then on Android, you've got Power Director, super like powerful app. Excuse the pun there. And then there's another one called KineMaster or KineMaster, which is also really, really user friendly. And both those apps, when you open them, have little tutorials on how to use the app. So if you follow those on-screen prompts, by the end of that process, you should have a video that you can produce, which is really cool.
And what we'd love you to do is over the next week, by the time that Joshua comes back to join us next week, have a go at doing this and send the videos into us. If there's something you want to film, if you want to film the hedgehogs in your garden, do we even have hedgehogs in South Africa?
I think so. I don't know if they like naturally
wandering around in people's background. A Dussie, I don't know. If there's a Dussie on the mountain that you want to film, maybe, or anything, then give it a go, and we will. You can send your videos into us. How will people do that? How are we going to do that?
So I think the easiest would be dependent on the size. So if the size is really, really big, it could get overly technical now.
Yeah.
But WeTransfer is a great one.
Yeah.
They can upload it to Google Drive. Maybe they want to upload it to YouTube if they're that confident down the process. And then they can just email it to info@joshuaruder.co.za, and we'll take a look at them and go through them. And, don't be shy. Obviously, keep it above board.
Yeah, don't send us in. Don't send naughty things in.
Yeah. But maybe they want to practice their pitch. Maybe it's just something as simple as filming the hedgehogs, whatever. Like, take your pick, and we'll review it. And we're still waiting for a video from a certain someone.
Look at the time.
Look at the time.
Look at the time. The time is upon us. And unfortunately, we don't have time for you to finish that sentence. Joshua is, of course, talking about a video that I promised you from when I went to Barrydale. It's happening.
Okay.
I promise you it is happening. That's really bad, isn't it? You should never say that you're going to do things on air if you don't then do them. I do just want to say a quick shout out to that is not flattering. I'm going to do that to everyone that we've got listening, or watching, should I say. We've got Ian. Hello, Ian. We've got Joe. We've got Dawn. Hello, Dawn. We've got Dimitri Erasmus. We had fangirling all over the place. We also had Michael Robertson. We've got producer Jeremy. Do some work, for goodness sake. Stop looking in there. We had Angelo Fick. We had Monica. It's lovely to have you all watching. Don't fear though, if you for now are lying in bed and you think, I don't want to log into Facebook and I've just got you coming through the ears, then don't worry. You can always take another look back at either this live, which will be on my Facebook page, or as Joshua's been doing every week, getting a little video together and posting it all over the place. Give us your handles.
So all my handles are at Joshua Ruder.
Yeah.
And so what we'll do, and we try to do it as frequently as possible, is then we'll upload that video and tag it and share it with everyone so they can find it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. They'll all be linked up there. And even on my LinkedIn,
I saw that, I think. Yeah. Good. On LinkedIn also. There you go. So if you are thinking that you would like to get involved, and please do, we can learn together. I think that's the general idea. Then keep following me. I'll be posting details on my Facebook page and my Twitter. Also, Joshua will be doing the same. For now, though, gosh, look at the 10 seconds left. We will bid you adieu on Facebook Live. And to you, Joshua, thank you. It's always lovely to have you in the studio.